So you're going to have two parts of the test. You're going to have a skill test and you're going to have online test. And I don't think you're going to have enough time to do both. But you can take your time because after you take the online test, you can start doing the skill test and you can upload it. Because do you have a class after this class? Do you have any classes after this one?
I don't.
No.
Okay. So you can take your time, do your skill. Okay. So I'm going to give you maybe about 3 hours or so, or 2 hours to do the skill after this one here, after you take the online. So the online, usually how long it takes you? About an hour or so?
Yeah, right about.
Yeah. So I'll give you another 2 hours to do the skills. And it's not really hard. So I'm going to give you an example today how to do the skills. Because I know some people, they didn't join the first couple of days and we did a lot of stuff. So it's like a review today we're going to do. Let me share my screen.
Can you share your screen with us and record, please?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Yeah.
Thank you.
Screen. That's the screen. There. And this is the screen. And that's how we record this time. Okay, for the people who missed some days, well, we did one exercise, how to update the firmware or the ISM, the operating system on the router or a switch. You use what we call the TFTP server. You remember that? So we're going to have a chance to do it today. So on this exercise, what we're going to have, we're going to create like a couple of VLANs. And we need to add end device to each VLAN. And we need to configure this router as router on the stick to do inter-VLAN routing. Okay. And we need to configure maybe how to update the firmware for this particular switch. Okay, from the TFTP server. I can do it from here. Okay. And after that, that'll be easy. It shouldn't take too much time. And after that, we're going to test communication between the two. So, speaking of that, okay, any question before we start? Let's see. Okay, no question. Okay, so I'm going to start with doing the VLAN, the documentation first. So we need to know what's given, and we can go from there. So VLAN 2, IP address, we're going to assign 192.168.2.0/24. And we need to do VLAN 3, for example, 192.168.3.0. 3.0/24. and VLAN for 192.168.4.0/24. Okay. And we need to do management VLAN, which is VLAN 9. And then 9. Okay. So I think that's plenty. And then you need to give a name. You need to give it a each VLAN. So the name will be what? I don't know. Let's name this one. To call it HR. And this one accounting. And this is IT. And this one GMT management. Okay, and we need to make this one as a native VLAN. VLAN 99 is a native VLAN. So we can do this one too. So, well, let's start it. Let's go with this switch first. So I'm going to connect this particular server to VLAN 2. Okay, so I'll show you later on how we do that updates. Just to review from the previous one. Now, of course, we went through the test about a different configuration, like line VTY. We did the SSH and all that stuff. But this is, we focus too much on VLAN in this test. Why is that? Because VLAN is very, very important. So we go to this switch first. It's good to name them. So we need to go to this switch here. We're going to enable it first. Config T. And we need to name it host name SW. Let's see. Let's call it 601G SW1. So I'll give it a different name this time. And we need to configure the VLANs in it. So we need to create all the VLANs. So we're going to say VLAN 2. That's easy. You should know it by now. Name HR. VLAN 3. Name. Name accounting. Let me move this one over there so you can see it. Okay, VLAN 4. And name, the IT department. And VLAN 99, name MGMT. All right, exit. So far we assigned all this VLAN, so we need to go and make sure all these VLANs are checked. So we go exit. And all this one's going to be stored on VLAN.dat. Okay, this is the location for it. So if you do show VLAN, and sure enough, it's going to tell us all the VLANs. By default, we have VLAN 1 as a native VLAN. And this is the VLANs that I just created. And this is like the legacy VLANs. And as you notice, I don't have any port assigned to any of the VLANs that I created. So that's what we need to do next. So it's good to have a plan ahead. On this particular switch, maybe we can say, we call it 601, 601G dash SW1. We can say VLAN 2, ports 1 through 9. Okay, VLAN 3, ports 10 through 15, and VLAN 4, we gotta say ports 16 to 20. Okay, VLAN 4. And I can make VLAN 99. And 99, I can do ports. I can assign ports because this is going to be native VLAN. So yeah, I can, but let's see, 22 to 24. Okay, we'll make them for VLAN, for management VLAN. Okay, so now we start configuring to assign the ports. At least we have a given over here, plan. Okay, so we need to go to switch config T, Control Shift 6. I always mess up with that config T. Config T. We need to go to the interface. Like I said before, you can do one interface at a time, or you can do the interface range. So it's better to do the range. Because if you're going to do each port by itself, it's going to take forever, okay? So we start with the interface, and then we follow by the keyword range. And then we start from port 1, which is fast Ethernet 0/1-9. Okay, we select basically what I did. I select these ports. And the second question, what I need to do with these ports? I need to make them an access port. Okay, so we got how you do that? We put switch port mode access. Okay, so the next step, we're gonna assign them to VLAN 2. So I put switch port access VLAN 2. And that's my first thing I did. I assigned all these ports right here for VLAN 2. Okay, exit. I'll do the same thing for VLAN 3. We're going to repeat the same thing. We're going to go interface. We need to select the interfaces that we need to assign them. We do interface, range. VLAN 3 is port 10, which is FA 0/10. Now somebody said, okay, why you came up with this name, FA 0/10? Because if you don't show interfaces on the switch, then you're going to tell you all these ports is fast Ethernet. So if we do that, we're gonna do we're gonna start from FA 0/10 to 15. And after that, we need to do a switch port. Switch port mode access and switch port access VLAN. Which VLAN is this? 3. Why I put VLAN? VLAN 3. Okay. Same process. We have to go interface range, which is VLAN 4, which is 16 to 20, FA 0/16 -20, switch port mode access, switch port access, VLAN 4. The next step is VLAN 99. So we're going to exit VLAN 99. Oh, we already created VLAN 99. So put interface range. Yeah, interface range. Range VLAN 99. What I'm doing? VLAN. Not VLAN. FA 0/24. I'm sorry, 22-24. Now we need to do the switch port mode access. I have a feeling it's not gonna work, but I'm gonna try. Switch port access VLAN. Okay, switch port mode access. Okay, exit. We need to save the work, so we're gonna do copy run start. All right. So we have to do some other stuff right here. We need to configure a trunk port, okay? So if I am here, so I'm gonna make this one as a trunk port, which is gigabit 0/1. So I need to go to that interface and you say interface gigabit 0/1, and I need to switch port mode trunk. Okay, let me see if I can make this particular. I'm going to change from native VLAN 1 to VLAN 99. Let me see if I can do that. So how we do that? You go and do switch port trunk native VLAN 99, which is right here. See that? Instead, the native VLAN 1 is going to be a native VLAN 99. And over here, I have the option switch port, trunk, allowed, VLAN. So what VLANs you want to go through that line here? We can allow them all, or we can allow few. So it's up. Depends on what they tell you on the instruction. So we're going to allow VLAN to say, let's allow, let's keep HR isolated. So we're going to do 3, 4, and 99. So we're going to allow, what did I do? I pressed the wrong key. Allowed the VLAN 3, comma 4, comma 99. Okay. So by doing this, now traffic from VLAN from this VLAN is not gonna go through this trunk. You follow? Because I didn't allow it. Okay. So after you do this, we're done with this switch. So we go exit or end, and you can save it. Okay. And notice right here a native VLAN mismatch. Now why we have this? Because this one here is configured as native VLAN 99. And this guy here is still on native VLAN 1. So that's why we have a native mismatch. So in order to fix it, we need to make this port also native VLAN 99. Okay. So we can go over here and do the same thing on that switch. So we go enable config T. Always config T. What's the deal with config T? Config space T, and we need to do. Actually, I need to make both ports right here, gigabit 01 and gigabit 02. This is connected to the router. Those ports, in order to do inter-VLAN routing, this port and this port is supposed to be a trunk port. So that's what we need to configure. Okay, so you have any question at this point?
Nope.
So far, so good? No objection, Your Honor? I guess no objection. That's good. All righty. So let's do that. We need to configure gigabit 0/1, gigabit 0/2 as a trunk, and we need to put VLAN 99 in it. Okay. So we'll do switch port. Well, we need to select the port first. We need to interface range gigabit 0/1, 2. So instead of going to each one, we're going to do them in one shot. So we did that one. We need to do switch port mode trunk. And we're going to do after that, we need to switch port trunk native. Now we got our problem. Why? Because I don't create VLAN 99 yet. Trunk native VLAN 99. Let's see. This is gonna work. Just to test it. Now, see that? And the reason why you put the wagon in front of the horse. You have to create the VLANs first before you do that. So we did step. My steps here is not in sequence because you cannot do that before you create the VLANs on the switch. So let's go back and end or exit actually. Well, at least I can say VLAN 99. And we're gonna name it. What we name VLAN 99? MGMT. MGMT. Okay. So at this point, if I want to repeat the other command, it's going to work. But now let's create all the VLAN. So we're going to do VLAN 2. We're going to name it HR. That's what's the name. We do VLAN 3. What's the name for VLAN 3? ACCT counting. And we need to VLAN what? 4. And what's the name for VLAN 4? IT. Okay, I already created a management VLAN. So awesome. And now we have to do the same thing with the port. So to make it simple, I can do the same thing here or change, doesn't matter. Let's see if I can, yeah, let's do the same thing. I'm so lazy this morning, I cannot even talk. So what we're going to do is we're going to the switch. And we're going to have the same port range. So I'm going to say interface. Which interface? Range FA0/1. Let's do it through 10. It makes it easy. And we need to do switch port, mode, access, exit. Oh, before we exit, we need to do switch port, access, VLAN 3. VLAN 2, not 3. 2, VLAN 2. Then we do exit. Then we're going to go interface, range. This is VLAN 3 from 10 to 15. We're going to make it 11 FA 0/11 through 16. Okay. Switch port, mode, access, switch port, access, VLAN 3. You can make it a song now, okay? We repeat it so many times. VLAN 3. Is it VLAN 3? Which one? Yeah. Now we do exit. Now let's do VLAN 4. We select interface range from, we already did up to 16. Now we're going to do 17, which is FA 0/17 to 20. 21. And we need to do the same thing. Switch mode access. And we need to do switch port access VLAN 4. And last one, we need to do what we need to do, guys. Interface range FA 0/22 to 24. We need to switch it to mode access. And from access, we need to go assign them to the VLAN. Access. VLAN, which VLAN is that? Somebody said 99. You said 99, I believe you. There we go. So do exit. Now I need to go back and configure the trunk port on both on here and here. So let's do that. So we're gonna go interface range gigabit 0/1-2. What did I do? Oh, where's the 2? Now, what we're gonna do with this interface, we need to configure them as trunk. We're gonna do switch port, mode, trunk, and we're gonna do switch port, trunk, native, VLAN, what? What's a VLAN native VLAN? 99.
99.
That's right, 99. So now we're gonna put switch port. Switch port. This is a tricky one. Let's see how that is gonna work. Switch port, trunk, allowed. Let's say if we allow all the VLANs, see if that works. Because what we did, I blocked a 2 here, but I'm allowed here and here. So basically, if you have anybody on VLAN 2 can communicate with this switch to go up and down. So those can communicate with each other. But over here, they cannot. Let's see. Just test it. So we're going to allow VLAN 2, 3, 4, and 99. Okay. And this is, we're going to end it here and save it. But before we do that, let's give it the name for the switch. What we're going to name it? Host name. Let's name it 601 C SW1. My typing is so terrible this morning. Host name 601 C SW1. Okay. So what we said we need to do? We need to save it. So end. Copy running configuration to the start configuration. Okay. So now we saved it. Now notice this one is now it's working. This is up and this is up. Now this is down because this interface is down. So we need to configure now the router. So on the router, this is where you need to pay attention. We need to do we need to bring that gigabit 0/0 up, and I need to create sub interfaces on that router. Okay. So let's go to the router right here and go to config T. And we say no. Enable config space T. Host name. I don't know what host name I need to give him. Host, wow. Name. Let's see. Let's say R1, R-1 or R1. Makes it simple this time. Okay, so we need to go to this interface. We need to say interface GIG 0/0. Okay. So now what we need to do with this one? All what I need to do with this one, say no shutdown. Okay, so I need to bring that interface up. That's all I need to do. I don't need to assign any IP address to it. So all we need to do here, basically, no shutdown. Then I need to go to interface gigabit 0/0.2. That's how I create sub interface for VLAN 2. And I bring inner. Then I need to do encapsulation at this point. Let's see. Do you guys have any questions so far? No questions? Okay. So we're going to do encapsulation. .1q, this is the trunking protocol according to the IEEE. And after .q, I need to emphasize this particular sub interface belong to which VLAN. So I need to put the VLAN ID after that. So I put number 2. And now I need to assign an IP address for this one here, for the sub interface gigabit 0/0.2, which is going to be 192.168.2.1, 255.255.255.0. And we need to go exit. And also, I'm going to repeat this one for each one of them. So I go interface gigabit 0/0.3. Encapsulation .1q, and put 3 right here. IP. See, all what you need to know one step. The rest of them the same thing, but the only difference is you need to change the VLAN ID and the gateway for that VLAN. So whatever address you put here becomes the gateway for that particular VLAN. So the address is going to be 192.168.3.1, 255.255.255.0. Exit. We need to go to interface gigabit 0/0.4. Same thing. Encapsulation .1q for IP address 192.168.4.1. So we designed it that way. So the third octet here, basically I match it with the VLAN ID, if you notice. 255.255.0. And exit on the last one will be what? Interface gigabit 0/0.99. Encapsulation .1q99 and IP address 192.168.99.1 255.255.255.0. Okay, good. Copy, run, start. Okay, since I don't have communication to this end on VLAN, whatever. Let's test it to see. But before we do that, we need to assign IP addresses to the end devices according to the VLANs. So how are we going to do that? That's easy, right? So we need to go to each one of them. So this is VLAN, it's on port 4. So this is VLAN 2, this is on port 15, which is on VLAN 3. Okay, and this is VLAN 4 right here. So let's do that. So we go desktop, and we're gonna say 192.168.2.10. I'm gonna assign 10 to this side and 20 to the other side. So the subnet mask 255.255.255.0, which is good. Gateway 192.168.2.1. And done with this guy here. So we're going to same thing in here, desktop. 192.168.3.10. And then we need to go to 192.168.3.1. That's the gateway. And this is for 192.168.4.10. And the gateway 192.168.4.1. And done. So let's test this side before we go any further. So let's see if I am in here. Let's see if I can ping all the gateways. So ping 192.168.2.1, which is the gateway for PC3. And now I want to put 3.1, and that's working, so that's a good sign. And 4.1, also a good sign. And 99.1. So that's perfect. So let's say I'm going to pretend I have some network somewhere in this router. Let's see if I can reach it. So what I can do, I can go to the router and create what we call a loopback interface or logical interface. So I can do config T, let's say interface. Oh, too many loopback, and you need to give it an ID. So put 1, for example. It's up and say IP address 10.10.10. 10.1, 255.255.252. Okay, no shutdown. It's not going to be shut down anyway because it's logical. So if we put end and I do copy, run, start to save it. So the question, can I ping this one from here? Let's see. So let's say ping 10.10.10.1. And sure I can. So even if I have a link here somewhere, I still can connect it. Okay? So we have communication. Now, let's do the same thing on this side here. This is on VLAN 2, so I configure that server since I'm here. 192.168.2.20. And I need to give the gateway 192.168.2.1. Okay, and also this one on VLAN 2, so I'm going to give it 11 or 21, whatever. So it's 192.168.2.30. How about that 30? And this is the gateway 192.168.3. Oh, 2. 2.1. That's the gateway. Okay. So the question is, can from this one or this one ping across this guy here? So let's test it. So if I go right here and say ping, command prompt, and say ping 192.168.2.10. I say this is going to work. Even though the two devices are on the same VLAN, and as you can see, request timeout, request timeout. Anybody knows why? Even though on the same VLAN.
Because we didn't allow it.
That's exactly right. Because you remember we said switch trunk allowed, and we said we're not going to allow VLAN 2 in this port to go through the trunk port to this one here, and that's why. Now, question is, can I ping from PC0 to the server? And the answer, we should. Okay? Because I'm not crossing the trunk. I'm just going from here to here, and those are on the same VLAN. So that's why we talk. Now, from here to here is not going to talk, even though in the same switch. Because in order to talk, first of all, we need to allow it to go up, then come back here and to allow it. So that's when you say allowed, you need to be careful what VLANs you need to allow. So let's go back to PC1 in here, and this is on VLAN 3. So let's configure it. And we can say 192.168.3.20. 192.168.3.1. And this guy here, basically, going to do the same thing. We're going to say 192.168.4.20 and 192.168.4.1. So that's the IT guy right here. So can this guy talk to anyone in here? Yes, they can, except PC3, because we don't allow VLAN 2. So let's see over here. PC ping 192.168.4.20. So I'm going from VLAN 3 to VLAN 20. Okay, this first one goes out because of the ARP to resolve the ARP request, but the rest of them, it works fine. So can I ping VLAN 2.20 in here? It's supposed to time out because we don't allow VLAN 20. VLAN 2, I'm sorry, on the other side. It goes, but they cannot come back. So that's basically is going to be your test. And this section here, basically, I need to update the firmware, like we said on this one here. So if this one's configured as, if you go to servers, go to TFTP, and we're looking for, if you want to do SSH on this router, I mean, not router, on this switch, you have to have an iOS with K9 in it. So you go down in here, and this, I gave you an assignment on your press assignment. You need to go to the model number 2960. Okay, that's the model number 2960. And you look for an iOS with K9 because in able to do SSH, you need the K9. So that's the K9. Then what you need to do, you put Control C. Okay, then what you need to do in there, you go over here to the switch and you do enable and you do what? Copy TFTP flash. And it's going to ask you the IP address for the TFTP server. You're going to say 192.168.2.20. And it's going to ask you the source file name. That's why we put Control C. So you right click here, you paste it. And that's the file that I need to copy. And the destination file, the same name, you put enter. That's supposed to copy it. So looks like it's not copying it. I don't know if that VLAN has to do with it. Let's see.
Yeah, the VLAN has to be set up.
Yep, it has to be VLAN 1, I believe. Let's see. Oh, VLAN 99. That's the VLAN. Yep. Yep. I'm out. Well, let's see. Because that's the native VLAN. Let's see if we do if we change the ports from here to 99. To port 24 and change the address. If that makes any difference to desktop configuration. And we need to do this is 99. And this one 99. Yep. This is correct. So we need to go back to services. Okay, we already copied it. So, okay. So let's go back to the switch. Copy TFTP. start. Yeah, you have to put address on the switch. So now I need to make sure we have communication between the two, okay? So the way you do it, you go to desktop, you go to command prompt, and you try to ping 190. Yeah. Where's time at? Now I'm pinging, which is good sign. Now I need to go back. Let me ping it again. Okay, now if I go to switch, can I ping the server? I should. Ping 192.168.99 dot. Firmware. So I need TFTP. I'm copying from TFTP server to flash. Okay, so what's the address of this one? With the TFTP server 192.168.99.20. You can ask me what file you want to copy. That's what I need to paste right here. Enter destination, boom, boom, boom. Now it's done. Now, if you do show flash, it's going to show me the old flash, unless if you reboot that switch. So we need to go to config T and you say boot system question mark with word exit with the file name, I believe you put paste, put enter. So now after you do that, you make sure you save it. Okay, so we need to do exit, copy, run, start. Now you say reload to reboot it. And after you reload it, you're going to have the new flash, the new iOS. We're going to boot from that new iOS. So if you go over here, you say show, what you do is that show. Yeah, you can do show version. And that's the version that we updated. But I have more than one version on the flash. So if you put dir flash, I got both of them. See that? That's the old one. That's the new one. But I force it, when I say boot system from this one here, I force it to boot from this one here. So if you want to boot back from the original one, you can change it. You can say boot system, then you copy this one here and boot from this one here. So now I can do SSH if I want on this switch because I have the right iOS. Okay, any questions so far? So your test will be like this, but the only difference is going to be different IP addresses, different VLAN names, different VLAN IDs, okay? How many of y'all can do that on the test? Send me a chat. Says yes, I can do that.
I think I can.
Shouldn't be a
Yeah, if
problem.
it's going to be like this, things should be all right.
All right, sounds like good. All right. So if you have a problem, just let me know before the test. Make sure you read those chapters. I think you have like 50 questions or so. And this test. So I'm gonna activate the test at 9:25. It's up to you if you want to start earlier. Well, let's have a standard. So it's all same. If you want, there's another option. We can start at 8. And now, no, let's start at 9:25. You do a 9:25, and then you take your time from there. It's an open time. The only thing you have restrictions on the online test. I think they give you like maximum 1 hour and 45 minutes or so. So,
Since we're going to be taking the test at 9:25, are we still just going to go to the server class and then just go straight to the test from there?
the server class start at 8, right?
Yeah, that's why I was wondering, just to make sure we're going from class to the test.
Yeah. Unless if you want to start the test first at 8, then you take the two.
I'm okay with how it is.
Huh? I'm sorry?
I was just saying I'd be okay with just taking the test at 9:25 and just having server at 8 like normal.
Okay, sounds good. That's a good idea. So you start with the online test at 9:25. We activate the test. And after that, you take your time with your skill. Okay? I mean, it took us like what, less than an hour or so. So it's doable. It's not doable. If you know what you need to do, it's not that hard.
Do you know what the due date is going to be, or the due time for the skills test? I mean, I know the online test you said is going to be like an hour 45. But
On the skill test, I'm gonna give you 2 hours, and we get some issues. If you cannot access the test, please email me, because even though I have it on Central Time, but for some reason, I don't know, Cisco by default, especially on the assignment. On the test, it's okay, but when we do skills on the assignment, looks like it's like 6 hours ahead. So even though I put from 8, like, or from 9 to 12 or 10 or 11, people trying to access test, they say it's not available. So I have to start at like maybe 2 a.m. You know what I'm saying? To adjust the time to equal whatever. But I want to call Cisco. I was supposed to call. I emailed a lady, but she didn't answer, so I'm gonna call her to see why he's doing that.
so we can look to having it the skills
Yeah,
test
if
submitted
it's
by
not
like 11:30 or 12.
Yeah, if it's not available, just shoot me an email so I can do adjustment till make it available.
Yes, sir.
Yep. Yeah, I'm gonna keep my eye on my email. So if somebody said can I access it, it's not available, just let me know so I can adjust it. I think I did it on the other class. I made it like due date from till like 6 o'clock p.m. Even though 6 p.m. is not mean you have from 10 to 6 a.m. It's like it's the time difference between whatever zone they use. But I'm gonna call this lady so see why he's doing that. So maybe she has a solution. Okay. Any other question?
Oh,
If you don't have a question, have a good day. Go study for the test. I'm recorded this one here. I'm gonna upload it to the announcement so you can review this lecture or this exercise, and hopefully that will be useful for you in the test.
okay.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Thank you, and have a good day.
Y'all too.
Okay,
You too, Mr. Charif.
Yes, somebody's speaking.